Get unready with me while I tell you about some crazy things my ex did. Part 1. Okay, so I'm not gonna be name dropping because I respect their privacy, even though sorry, a different ex is texting me. Anyways, he's such a spaz. He's crazy. Stealing my lingo too. So anyways, I'm not gonna name drop because I respect their privacy, even though they hurt me like an immense amount, but you know, their privacy is their privacy. So the main guy that I'm trying to talk about, we're gonna call him 7th grade. And then the other guy, the guy that was just texting me, we're gonna call him 1st grade because I met 1st grade in 1st grade. And I started dating 7th grade in 7th grade. So yeah. So the first thing that 7th grade did was he manipulated me into basically cheating on 1st grade. So I was dating 1st grade, right? And you know, we had something good going, you know, like we had known each other, you know, since 1st grade. We've liked each other since 1st grade. And he and I dated for a year and like 9 days or something like that. And you know, we were good together. Like, we lasted a long time. Like, we really cared about each other. We really loved each other. And I know it sounds stupid because I was literally 6 years old, but I fell in love with him in the 1st grade. And I know that sounds like really stupid, but like, I really did love him, and he really did love me. And like, you know, we were inseparable. Like, we were genuinely inseparable. So one day I was talking to 7th grade, and I was texting him because he was one of my best friends at the time. Mind you, I'm still dating 1st grade. Me and 7th grade were talking, and we were talking about how, I'm gonna like cut it down, but we were talking about how we used to like each other in 6th grade because we, all 3 of us went to the same middle school. And, you know, me and 7th grade were talking about how, we used to like each other in 6th grade. And I told him, I was like, yeah, I used to like you in 6th grade. And he was like, oh, that's crazy. I used to like you in 6th grade too. And I was like, whoa, that's crazy. And, so he was like, I was like, hypothetically, I kind of liked him at the time. I was like, hypothetically, what would you do if I still liked you? You know? And he was like, well, what would you do if I still liked you? I was like, I don't know. So he's like telling me like, well, what would you do? And I was like, I don't know. And he was like, okay, will you be my girlfriend? And I'm like, I'm dating 1st grade. And he's like, oh, 1st grade doesn't have to know. What he doesn't know can't hurt him. And I'm like, okay, but it can hurt me because it involves me, and I would be technically cheating on my partner, and that's not something I'm looking to do. And he was like, well, 1st grade, no, can't hurt him. So I'm telling 7th grade, I'm like, no, I'm not gonna date you. And he, like I said, I'm cutting it down. He was like, oh, I'm gonna kill myself then. And he has a history of mental illness. He literally got sent to a mental hospital more than once, and he literally slit his right wrist because he's left-handed. He slit his right wrist, and there's like, you know, a scar because he slit his wrist open. So I'm like, no, don't do that. Okay, sure, I'll be your girlfriend. And he was like, okay, yay. And I was going to my friend's house later that day, so I was playing in the snow because it was in January and it was snowing where I live. And so I was playing in the snow, and then my mom was like, okay, it's time to go to we're gonna call her Gem because she went by like a kind of stone or whatever. So she was like, okay, it's time to go to Gem's house. And I'm like, okay. So I grabbed my stuff and I packed my bag because I was staying the night, and she was like, do you have everything you need? And I was like, yeah. So I got everything. This isn't really relevant. This is, I don't know. And so we were on the way, and I was texting 7th grade, and don't mind the background noise. My neighbors are over and my brother's playing with them. So I was texting 7th grade, and I was like, I don't know, this feels wrong. And he was like, oh, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. And I'm like, okay, but I don't feel like it's fine. Like, I feel like he's gonna know at some point. And he's like, no, he won't, da da da, if you don't tell him, then he's not gonna know. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So I'm like against it, and I'm like internally like, I don't want to do this. So I went over to Jem's house, and we were baking cookies, and I was like down, because I'm like, I feel so guilty. And I was telling her that I felt guilty. So as I'm telling her that I'm feeling guilty, we're baking cookies, everything's fine, I'm like, I feel so guilty, but I can't tell you why, because I'm scared. Like, I know you're my best friend, but I just feel like it's gonna get out, and then my business is gonna be spread. And 7th grade was not a trustworthy person, so it was gonna get spread either way, because I was technically cheating on 1st grade with 7th grade. And so I'm like, Jem, I don't know what to do. Like, I want to tell you, and I want you to know, but I don't want it to potentially get out. And she was like, you can trust me. And I really could, because she was, my best friend. She didn't tell anybody. She's a good person. Like, we're not friends anymore, but I still appreciate her. So I text 7th grade, and I'm like, this is like 3 hours after me in 7th grade, like, start dating or whatever. So I'm like, hey, listen, I can't be in a relationship with you. Like, this feels wrong. I feel so guilty. And he's like, okay. So basically, next school day, he tells 1st grade, yeah, it was 2 days. 1st grade gets mad at me. We break up for a couple of days, get back together for a couple of days. I ditched 1st grade for 7th grade. I know, big mistake. And so, that happened. Number 2, I want to give a quick trigger warning, because it's pretty sensitive. It's not like, oh, he took my homework or whatever and cheated and like erased my name and put his name on it. No, it involves sexual harassment, and it's not like, something easy to talk about. So 7th grade and I have been dating for a couple months at this point, and he was like, oh, I want to tell you something, but I'm scared of how you'll react. I'm like, you can tell me anything. Like, you're my boyfriend. I don't care. Like, I'm not gonna judge you. Like, you're my boyfriend. I don't care. And he's telling me, he's like, okay, well, you can't tell anybody. And I'm like, I promise, why would I tell anybody? And he goes, okay, I'm trans. 7th grade, by the way. 7th grade. We are in 7th grade. We are 12 years old. I'm trans. And I'm like, oh, okay. Why would I break up with you for that? Because he said that he was scared that I was going to break up with him. I was like, why would I break up with you for that? And he was like, I don't know. I just don't know, like, how people would react or whatever. And I'm like, I don't care. What's your new name? And he's like, what's a good name? I'm just gonna say female 7th grade. I ask him what his name is. He goes, female 7th grade. And I'm like, okay, cool. What's up, female 7th grade? No big deal, whatever. A few weeks pass, and he's like, oh, well, since I'll never be a biological girl, and I'll never have, actual real, can I squeeze yours? I'm sorry? Can you do what now? And I was like, oh, I don't know. Not giving him a yes, but also not giving him a no. And stupidly enough, I did end up saying, yeah, I don't care. I did care. I did care so much. I did not want him to do that. I knew I wasn't gonna like it, because I don't like physical stuff like that. Like, yeah, I like physical stuff, but not like that. So he ends up, like, we sat next to each other in the courtyard at my middle school, because there was a courtyard, and we were sitting adjacent to each other. He was sitting on my left, and you know, he like wraps his arms around my waist and hugs me, and I'm like, my knees are up because the stairs are super small. Like, seriously, they're like that. It's only a couple of inches. And he's like, you know, I'm hunched over, my knees are up basically to my face, my arms are resting on my knees, you know, my forehead's resting on my arms, and because I'm tired and I'm stressed because it's middle school and I have this boyfriend who wants to touch me in weird ways that I'm not comfortable with. So he ends up, you know, hunching over and squeezing, you know. That's not the only time, by the way. Whenever we first started dating, then the next day, because we started dating after school, and next day at school during lunch, my friend, we're gonna call him Cockroach, because that's what me and my friends called him. Cockroach dated one of my best friends. That's not relevant. But Cockroach was in the library with me in 7th grade and 7th grade's friends and my friends. And it's really not that many people. It was like maybe 6 people. I don't know. And so Cockroach is like, oh, I dare y'all to kiss if y'all are really dating. 7th grade looks at me. I look at 7th grade and I'm like, and 7th grade looks at me and was like, I mean, why not? And I look at 7th grade and I'm like, we just started dating. And 7th grade looks at me and was like, but we're dating, so it's okay. What? Make it make sense. Make it make sense, because it's not clicking in the noggin for me, okay? I don't want to kiss him. I'm telling him we just started dating. I don't want to kiss you. And he's like, oh, but we're dating, so it's okay. I kid you not. He kissed me. He leaned in and kissed me. I did not want it. I did not want to kiss him. But, you know, he was going to kill himself if I didn't. So I kissed him. And it was disgusting. And I hated it. And this next part is going to sound so fake. But I promise you, it is not. I wish I still had the messages, but I promise you, it is not fake. It is not a made-up number. It is not just a number that I am saying to get attention. I don't care if you give me attention. I don't care if you give this video attention. Whatever, it's your decision. But I shit you not. I shit you not. He goes, oh, 13 is my lucky number. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. I was born on the 13th. And he goes, oh, now it's really my lucky number. Guess you gotta kiss me 13 times a day. It sounds made up, but I promise it's not. And he held me to those daily 13 kisses. I'm trying to look for who said you could do that. Because I know it wasn't me. And I know you're not trying to kiss me. Hello? I told you I wasn't comfortable with that. Why are you saying this? Why are you saying, oh, gotta kiss me 13 times a day? I'm sorry. Who are we talking to? Who are we talking to? Because I know it's not me. I know it is not me, 7th grade. So why are you talking to me like that? Why are you talking to me like that? Anyways, that's the end of part 1, because I'm unready. I really just need to put moisturizer on my face and brush my hair. But yeah, I'll make a part 2 soon, I guess.